Not much really to talk about. There is a possibility, worst case scenario, that we could have Bitcoin come all the way down. I've been saying maybe to that $18,800 level, which would sort of flip this previous resistance right here, and it would act as support. Do I think we're going to go that low? I don't know. A lot of people want Bitcoin to go lower. They want to, try to get these cheaper prices. We've seen the stable coins really building up, right? So that shows that some people are looking to potentially buy this dip if they think we're going to come down here and fill the CME futures gap, which is around 20,000. It's a possibility. Right now, though, you could see we are sitting directly on this 200 weekly, right? So again, we don't really want, we can dip below it. It's fine. It's not a problem if we fall below the 200 weekly. We just don't want to close a candle below the 200 weekly, or at least we don't want to stay down there for too long, because then you do risk having Bitcoin fall back into these areas.
If there's an underrated trader on YouTube, we believe it to be Crypto Zombie. He owns a channel with over 250,000 subscribers, but most people outside his channel don't know him yet. Still, his chart analyses are extremely valuable, so you'll get a ton of value if you watch this video until the end. For the past few days, Bitcoin has formed a bear flag pattern that may signal more incoming downside. However, with his prices hovering around 26,900, many still wonder what the next target will be. In this video, Crypto Zombie will make a new price prediction using all the indicators and confluences that show we're heading down for the short term and that Bitcoin's direction is changing soon. So please pay close attention and let's go to the video.
Obviously, Bitcoin is still just going sideways again. Really boring stuff, so I'm not going to harp too much on the charts today. There is still a possibility of that pullback, of that retest. I will get into that in just a bit. However, there is a major indicator, and it's been a while since we've had these big indicators, but there is an indicator that actually recently just flashed something very interesting we've only ever seen happen 2 times before. So I do want to bring that to your attention. Also, thanks to everybody that came out to the Twitter Spaces last night. We had 19, almost 20,000 viewers on it. So it was really cool. If you missed that, just go follow me over on Twitter at the Crypto Zombie. This is there. You can replay it if you guys want to listen to that later. I do want to talk about a new poll that came out from Gen Z. Very interesting, kind of what they're doing. Also, Ron DeSantis over on Twitter Spaces. You probably have heard this buzz. He has announced his presidential running for presidential candidacy. Why can't I say that word right now? Anyway, wow. So he's running for president, and he actually had some really interesting things to say about Bitcoin, actually, and CBDCs. And I want to play a clip of that for you guys to sort of show you that there is this major shift. Not much really to talk about. There is a possibility, worst case scenario, that we could have Bitcoin come all the way down. I've been saying maybe to that $18,800 level, which would sort of flip this previous resistance right here, and it would act as support. Do I think we're going to go that low? I don't know. A lot of people want Bitcoin to go lower. They want to, try to get these cheaper prices. We've seen the stable coins really building up, right? So that shows that some people are looking to potentially buy this dip if they think we're going to come down here and fill the CME futures gap, which is around 20,000. It's a possibility. Right now, though, you could see we are sitting directly on this 200 weekly, right? So again, we don't really want, we can dip below it. It's fine. It's not a problem if we fall below the 200 weekly. We just don't want to close a candle below the 200 weekly, or at least we don't want to stay down there for too long, because then you do risk having Bitcoin fall back into these areas. You could see we were supported. We are still above this area on the EMA ribbon, but we are sitting below this major, this is the 100 EMA as well as the 89 simple. So you can kind of see that we're just bouncing between these levels right here, right? Like every time we get up to around 27, we just crash back down to around 25. So again, I still have my major target at around this area right here, 25,300. Will we get it? Possibly not, but we're still on this major uptrend. And, again, as I pointed out, we did have the super guppy, right? And we know that when we get out of this red area, we have a couple of these blues, we switch into the neutral. That generally means that we're beginning a new bull run. So, I mean, that's what I'm seeing right now. We're also seeing money flow potentially coming out into the red. And we also have this right here on Market Cipher, right? We can connect this giant, and this is on the weekly, this anchor wave. You can argue there's a trigger wave. Maybe we even get another trigger wave. So, I mean, everything right now is pointing towards Bitcoin putting in higher highs potentially by the end of this year. But in the short term, it is telling me that we may have a potential drawdown. But again, you know, Bitcoin is known for this crazy volatility, even though it's been a little boring lately. I mean, you could see 94%, 61%, 48%, 84%, 62%, crazy drawdowns that we've had. But what is very interesting is looking at this logarithmic. Look at the bottoms right here, right? Look at these bottoms. $12, $72, $152, $648, $3,000, $8,000. 15.5, right? So ultimately, Bitcoin is continuing to put in higher lows. I know people always like to look at these all-time highs, but you have to understand that those are those moments of exuberance, right? I remember in 2017 when Bitcoin hit 20,000. For the next year, the whole thing was, oh, it was at 20,000, but now it's at 10. Now it's at 8, right? But it didn't stay at 20,000 that long. In fact, it didn't even close. The monthly candle closed at 13.8, right? So it was a flash in the pan, the same way that we see the same with the wicks to the bottom. But this, like eGrad Crypto pointed out, is this Gaussian channel on the 5-day, which you could say is kind of like my guppy, right, on the weekly. And every time this channel essentially switches into the green, it tends to more often than not stay in the green for quite a long time and usually represents the start of a bull. Now you can see right here, this one, we actually had this fake out mid rally, which could be what we're having here. I've said that is a possibility where maybe we just bounce around this area for a little bit longer. But nevertheless, generally speaking, once we flip into that, and keep in mind, this right here was the COVID crash, right? So you can kind of say that maybe that was an outlier because that was a black swan event, but generally speaking, we tend to stay in the green for quite a long time, right? So shout out to eGrad Crypto. And the other thing I wanted to point out is just simply what we're seeing. In the background, we're seeing Bitcoin mining difficulty hitting an all-time high. So you may say that, well, this has nothing to do with anything.
And there are even more confluences giving good signs of a promising future for Bitcoin, even though short-term it may drop.
The Bitcoin mining difficulty is at an all-time high, and what's interesting is that we're also seeing Bitcoin balances on exchanges going down while we're seeing the stable coins going up. So this is a little bit of a mixed bag of signals, but they're all signaling good things. Sitting in stable coins, waiting to buy Bitcoin, Bitcoin getting removed off of the exchanges, Bitcoin mining difficulty at an all-time high. These are all good things for Bitcoin, right? It shows that the miners are hodling, they're turning on their machines, competition is getting bigger, which means the network is becoming more secure because the hash rate is increasing. And we also have Bitcoin leaving exchanges, which, I mean, tells me that they're probably putting it in their own wallets, right? So these are all things that we can pay attention to. Now, of course, we do have the political climate for Bitcoin, the EU watchdog warning that cryptocurrencies could pose risks to financial stability.
After that, Crypto Zombie also goes through some political candidates promising to help Bitcoin instead of attacking it like the current Biden administration. One of them is Robert F. Kennedy. We did a video about him 2 days ago, and you may check it in the comments below. Also, if you want to hear what other candidates are doing, please check Crypto Zombie's channel and give him a follow. Want us to bring more chart analyses like this for the channel? Let us know in the comments below, and please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. See you tomorrow for more daily crypto. Thanks.